I'm saving the calcaneus for last because that one takes a little bit longer, mainly because of the axial projection, okay? All right, so we've done foot. We're gonna go into ankle. Have her straighten her leg out, okay? If your patient is fine sitting up, that's great. If they wanna lay down, let them lay down. All right. Okay. So I wanna make sure she's in the center of the cassette. She can flex your foot up as much as you can. Thank you, ma'am. You're doing fabulous. I look for my malleolus and my arrows and get them as centered as I can. Come here. Okay. This is the one that I was saying that your lateral malleolus comes down a little bit further, a little more distal than your medial, okay? So, from here, this one here, this traverses right down the center of your medial malleolus, okay? So, make sure she's nice and straight. Turn your toe just a smidge, there we go. All right. Don't be afraid. And that's the other thing. Majority of the time, this comes and hits between sometimes a second, sometimes it's right between second and third. Okay? And yes, I will wipe all this down because I'm touching. So, all right. Marker. Pop it right there on the side. Again, I don't want it in tissue margin. Okay?
Did tip fit good? Right at the sock joint, or right where like a sock would go, that's the ideal.
Whether it's in, as long as it's in their light field, whether you put it down here, or you put it up here. Either way. But it should be to the lateral aspect.
Lateral.
So, yeah. This is what I want to see. This is what I mean opening it up top to bottom. I can actually see more of her tip foot, the distal tip foot. Not touching my face. Nope, not doing it.
I was gonna say haircut.
So, all right. So from here, this is where I was meaning Mr. Gardner likes for y'all to get at the end of the table with these. So from here, I'm gonna do my mortise projection first. So we're only gonna do 15 to 20. So this is the other thing too. Right now, my fingers are slightly off, okay? All right, rotate. And now, right, I'll come back just a little right there. Now I'm equal. I can actually look over her right now and my fingers are completely straight, letting me know that I have a perfect mortise view. Because now, if you remember on the image I showed you with the side by side, yes, bless me, get that under control. The side by side views, and then I showed the foot rotations, and you can see the malleolus and how they line up. The mortise is the one, and if you were to put your fingers, they start out like this. When she rotates, they equal up. Okay? So, she's right where she needs to be, but I have to get my central ray right. So, this one here, actually, I'm gonna lift you up so I can center my cassette better. Okay, so this one here. This is the one I was mentioning, that it ends up coming between, somewhere between these two toes, your central ray. But if you use the little finger method, go back straight again. So right now, my fingers are off. Okay? I want you to come see. My fingers are off.
Okay.
All right, rotate, 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 rotate. Now they're straight.
Got it.
Okay? Does that make sense now? Did you see that now, Del? Okay. And see, hits right between those toes. Does the same thing on the images that we saw in the book, on the slides too. So just pop your marker right there. Make sure it's not in. Whether you put it down here or up here is fine. Just make sure it's not in soft tissue. No breathing instructions for these. Just hold still. Don't move. Hold still. One of the two. Don't. Just don't move.
Breathe.
Yes, they can breathe.
Yeah.
All right. So from here, we're going to go into the 45. The 45 is, I remember, the whole leg has to turn. So I'm gonna get you to take your whole leg and rotate in for me, as much as right there. Perfect. This will be my 45. I'm gonna slide back a step a little bit. Okay. That's my 45. Back here. This one, I want to be good. This is the one. I always get a little. You tuck my hair behind my ear, please, ma'am. Thank you. Whew, sorry, I didn't. There we go. All right, actually, come back just this right there. All right, so this one, it always looks weird because you feel like you have more light over here, just because of the foot. I do open up a little more on this side, just to pop my marker in. Okay. But this would be, and that's the other thing. I'm centered, and I can see where it's, I mentioned here, depending on your patient and their mobility, it's gonna hit right here at the ball of the foot, okay? If I hit right here, if I come around here, this is around the ball of the base of the ball of the foot, okay? Another little good thing, that would be your standard 45-degree oblique. And I can come to the bottom, dorsiflex foot just a little, there you go. And actually see, if I come to the bottom of the table, I can see that I'm actually centered. Okay? I can tell you right now, if you get ankle and you do not walk to the end of the table, he is gonna ding the crap out of you back there. You need to walk, and it really does help with looking, okay? So, all right. So, all right, come back up again. All right, I'm gonna get you to bend your knee up. We're gonna come all the way up on this side for me, please. There we go. All right, so we're coming into our lateral ankle. The other thing too, I have a handful of requisitions that it's on the same side. So save your laterals for last. So if I started here, because I'm doing lateral ankle, and I say I had calcaneus, I'd go ahead and start with my lateral calcaneus and end with my axial projection of the calcaneus. Because that way I'm not having her flip-flop.
Right.
Okay, especially if she's hurting, she won't smack me. So, all right. All right, so I'm gonna take my malleolus, get them centered. And test my centering spot. He's so cute. All right, flex that foot as much as you can for me, okay? All right, get her nice and centered. We're going for right here, medial malleolus. Okay? I'm gonna go ahead.
I feel like I'm doing a GQ pose.
Actually, that was awesome. He was laying there just like that. He's like, paint me like
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I still have that photo too. All right, I'm gonna move the table at this point. Because sometimes if you're fighting with your tube, get it in a spot and then just start floating your patient, okay? Right there on that malleolus, okay? Now, it looks like she's not centered because she's not fully come forward. Now she is, okay? You actually just have a really weird malleolus. Yours is not truly centered, ma'am.
What can I say?
I need you to come. Not you.
I was born perfect.
Lady Gaga say you were born this way. All right. Maybe she's born with it. She's not Maybelline.
Not by beauty standards.
Yes, Mom.
All right. There we go. Okay. Marker to the anterior. Down. Okay. And again, people get focused that they're not centered 100% here. So again, she's just got weird malleolus. She really does, because you do have some where it's more here. So but that's just how her tibia is, and it's fine. But you're still centering on here. Okay. So she's a big girl. That big malleolus, that's what it is.
Probably.
All right. Again, beautiful, right there on the malleolus. What we want for that one. Okay. That would be our lateral ankle. Now, your requisition will tell you if you have the standard oblique, and it'll say mortise if you have a mortise. Please know the difference between the rotations. Mortise, 15 to 20. Regular standard ankle oblique is 45, okay? All right, since I already have her here, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and go into my lateral calcaneus, okay?